Breaking news. Donald Trump says something completely insane on social media. The day is any day. The location is Anytown, USA. Okay, but no, specifically, I know this happens a lot, but this one's pretty wild. So Seth Meyers, the host of a corporate, milquetoast, mainstream, light and frothy talk show, said some things about Trump that were so outrageous that they're probably illegal. In fact, the things Seth Meyers said about Trump are so outrageous, I can't show them to you just yet. You're gonna have to like, subscribe, and keep watching. But look how Trump reacted. Seth Meyers of NBC may be the least talented person to perform live in the history of television. My Trump's not very good, sorry. In fact, he may be the worst to perform, live or otherwise. I watched his show the other night for the first time in years. In it, he talked endlessly about electric catapults on aircraft carriers, which I complain about as not being about as good as much less expensive steam catapults. The fuck am I saying? On and on he went, a truly deranged lunatic. Why does NBC waste its time and money on a guy like this? No talent, no ratings, 100% anti-Trump, which is probably illegal. The word probably there doing about as much heavy lifting as Trump's depends, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I've got to say, I think it's funny that Trump says, he's got no talent, I mean, the talent thing, that's subjective, Some people think I'm not talented, but no ratings. I mean, okay, yes, late night TV show ratings have been going down because, of attention span and then TikTok and just the fucking batshit world we live in. But his ratings are not that bad. He still pulls in about 800,000 viewers a night. And let's not forget, I'm pretty sure the only reason Trump wanted to become president was because he missed being on TV so much. He would kill to be on a TV show that had 800,000 viewers these days. The other crazy thing about this is if you look at the audience demographic breakdown of the Seth Meyers show, one of those viewers is Seth Meyers' mother, and the other 799,999 are actually Donald Trump hate watching it on repeat. And in another sign that we're descending into the 8th circle of hell, the White House website just posted today this new satirical website called My Safe Space, a place for Dems, which comes out suspiciously hot on the back of Trump's rant about Seth Meyers. Meyers? I don't even fucking know. I'm not here to be like, leave Seth alone, he's a genius. I don't watch his show. He seems fine. Also, while I've got you here, can I just talk about how absolutely batshit deranged it is that this is what the White House website looks like? It's got a timer for the Democrat shutdown. The Democrat shutdown when, the Republicans run the House, the Senate, the presidency, and also have a gun pointed at every single political leader in liberal America. Now, personally, I'd much rather see a timer that counts down to, when Trump's presidency will be over, but the way things are going, that might just end up being an 8 on its fucking side. This is unbelievable. The White House, President Donald J. Trump, and right below it, an advertisement for Trump RX. This is a clown world. Imagine going on the UK Parliament website. Let me bring it up for you. This is what the government website of a slightly sane country looks like, and sane's doing a lot of heavy lifting here because the UK is not doing so great these days, but, this still represents, we at least care to pretend we like democracy. I mean, imagine if you came on this website and instead of, UK Parliament and just very neutral, objective statements, it said, Prime Minister Starmer, and below it had a little ad saying, Starmer berries, they've got absolutely no flavour. The really, really, really stupid thing about all this, in the sea and fucking avocado pit depths of stupidity, is that even though this is a childish and stupid joke, I have a sense of humour. My safe space, it's slightly funny. It's slightly funny in a vacuum where it isn't on the fucking government website. If a political commentator posted this on Twitter or whatever, go for it, sure, who cares? But this kind of mindless garbage does not belong on any state website. It is embarrassing. And I'm no hypocrite. It would be just as embarrassing if you opened a White House website and my face was on there talking some crap. This kind of stuff is the realm of amateur political commentators on social media who, already have accepted they're never going to be a pilot, or an astronaut or good at sex or whatever the society says we might have to be. It's just, I just wish there were laws against doing this kind of thing. Like I said, in the vacuum, this is slightly funny, but not on the White House website. That's not a vacuum. It's the website of the most serious building in the world, or used to be. And sadly, there's a lot more cynical and concerning reasons why it might benefit certain parties to normalize turning politics into a chimp's tea party. In fact, it's almost like maybe the more Trump seems to lose his mind, the more they have to just make everything hilarious and not serious. The White House, not serious. Nuclear war, jokes. Call anyone that makes the tiniest bit of fun of you treasonous, top bants. The crazy thing is, I think some people on the right have genuinely convinced themselves that the other side has no sense of humour. I mean, they're obviously also forgetting that humour is entirely subjective, and just because you look at something and are like, I don't find that funny, doesn't mean it is objectively unfunny. I think a lot of people in life suffer from main character syndrome. I mean, you see it all the time on YouTube. People post videos where there's millions of comments saying how hilarious they are, and there's a few voices in the comments saying, this was totally unfunny. I can't relate to this, of course. And it's like, yeah, okay, thanks for sharing. You probably weren't the target audience. Anyway, point being, Elon Musk himself said, Comedy is now legal again. But of course he was referring to the Trump table of legality, which I'll show you now. Anyway, we live in a post-irony society. Irony is dead. Irony has been taken out back by Coppery and Bronzy, these are jokes about Trump's face, and stamped to death unceremoniously. Irony is truly dead in a world where the president of the US can tweet one day about how the person who said mean things about me on the TV box is probably committing a crime, and the next day the White House can post a page saying that Democrats need safe spaces. Trump truly has the self-awareness of an atom. I'm not even convinced that he knows he exists. Anyway, I think it might now finally be safe, to show you the outrageous, far-left, insane, controversial clip that Seth Meyers posted. Let's go for it. Wait, Seth Meyers or Seth Meyers? I think it's Seth Meyers. I think Seth Meyers is what you call an evil local politician. Anyway, let's roll the Seth Meyers clip.
Just listen to him deliver this expert treatise on, oh, wait, no, this can't be right. Catapults?
I know a lot about these ships. I know a lot about these things building. I want to know catapults. Which is better, the electric or the steam?
This shouldn't be my life, and this shouldn't be my job. Which is better, the electric or the steam? I mean, what world do we live in? That sounds like a soundbite of me playing Transport Tycoon at the age of 7.
Millions of dollars to build stupid electric. That's ridiculous. The steam, they said they can fix it with a hammer and a blowtorch. And it works just as well, if not better. And I love the sight of that beautiful steam pouring off that deck. With the electric, you don't have that.
Okay, so one of his biggest arguments why we should switch all of the technology on very, very, very expensive battleships back to steam is because he likes the sight of steam coming out. I guess Trump loves steam. I'm going to assume that most of his ideas for what a successful civilization looks like come from that seminal masterpiece film, Mortal Engines.
I love the sight of that beautiful steam.
When we build catapults, it's gonna be steam. And when we build boats, it's gonna be wood. None of that woke metal. Why is Trump so obsessed with old shit? Is it because he was born in 1892? He just desperately misses the days of steam, smoggy skies, black lung, and dying of whimsical old-fashioned diseases like polio.
I'm going to sign an executive order. When we build aircraft carriers, it's steam for the catapults. They spent $993 million on the catapults, trying to get them to work.
They spent $993 million on catapults, and they could have given that money to me.
Guy spends more time thinking about catapults than Wile E. Coyote.
Oh shit. Okay, I can see why this is probably illegal. I mean, you should not go that hard when talking about a political figure. You just shouldn't. This is a clear and direct violation of the "That's all, folks" proclamation.
We used to strap our soldiers to the rockets and they loved it. But then everything got woke and they said you can't tie a person to a rocket, but we miss those days and we're bringing them back.
His Trump impression is better than mine. That's why he gets the big bucks. Trump is literally what happens when you decide to let your eccentric, rapidly unraveling granddad run the country for some reason. It's genuinely such a shame that he wasn't born in the UK. You cannot move in the UK without bumping into quaint little county fairs with giant displays of old steam engines.
I love the sight of that beautiful steam.
He would be so happy, bless his little cotton socks. I mean, he would still be regarded as a knobhead, but he'd be one of those, lovable, wacky locals. The kind of old man who rambles to himself in a Wetherspoons of, I fucking love steam. While the bartender is saying, that's nice, John, but I think you've had enough, alright? But instead, we live in the cursed timeline, and he's the old man saying, I fucking love steam.
I love the sight of that beautiful steam.
And the nation's top officials are like, write that down, write that down.
I'll try my best to explain the gist of what he's talking about in a new segment we're calling Seth Translates Trump to English.
You have to be careful saying stuff like Seth translates Trump to English. I'm amazed there aren't liberals out rioting in the streets right now with such insightful language.
Aircraft carriers use catapults to help aircraft achieve takeoff speed quickly.
So Seth then goes on to explain that basically the thing Trump is mad about today is that they now use an electric system to launch planes. Let's use the professional terminology. They now use an electric system to yeet planes off the side of the aircraft carrier because, the runway is not that long. Yeet, it is electric. It used to be steam-powered. Trump misses it being yeet. He misses that greatly.
I love the sight of that beautiful steam.
The electromagnetic launching system also allows for smoother
and more gradual acceleration. But Trump doesn't like that because he thinks, I don't know, electricity votes for Democrats or something.
Oh my goodness. Like, this is why late night TV is dangerous. This kind of, corporate, vaguely centrist, playing it safer than a footballer wearing a hazmat suit is dangerous rhetoric that must be outlawed.
Trump thinks he knows more about aviation than everyone else because he dances like one of those guys that holds the signaling sticks on the runway.
Comedy might be legal again, but that wasn't comedy. That was a hate crime.
Worked really hard 24/7, took in trillions of dollars, and Chuck Schumer said the trip was a total dud, even though he knows it was a spectacular success. Words like that are almost treasonous.
Now, treason isn't one of my many hobbies, so let me just check the definition again to make sure I got this right, because I could be wrong here. Treason is the crime of betraying one's country by attempting to overthrow the government or by aiding its enemies. Yes, and I suppose in MAGA logic, the phrase aiding enemies is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. For example, do not go on holiday. You're contributing to another country's economy, and for some reason, all the other countries in the world are our enemies right now. So if you go on holiday, you're aiding their economy. Treason! Also, which is it, Trump? Make up your mind. Is it treason or is stuff illegal? I mean, treason is already kind of illegal anyway, so it feels like you just pick one. Just pick one, It's like using both is very unnecessary. It might even suggest a tad of the hyperbole. I don't know. And don't forget, all of what Seth Meyers just said was probably illegal. Probably. I mean, I'm no legal expert, but that's why I don't use, gripping legal terms like probably illegal. Your Honor, we find the defendant probably guilty. Because apparently saying, maybe only the experts should talk about this in a slightly comedic, satirical way is now probably illegal. Hey, at least that means it's now probably illegal to point out the fact that I'm not qualified to talk about politics in the comments. I don't make the rules. Trump does, apparently. And for the record, I'm doing my best. And when I was looking for jobs, there was no listing that said expert cheese commentator wanted. And if any of you out there are wondering, what can I say now? Like, what is probably illegal and probably not illegal to now talk about under this regime, just make sure you refer to the Trump table of legality. I'm British Chris, and I've been really American.